Are you tired of taking big L's in the rec center, or even worse, losing by so much that you're considering dashboarding out and starting a new game just for the next one to go very similar to the last game that you just dashboarded out of? Well, if you are, then keep on watching, as I'm going to go over 11 tips to help you improve upon your rec center game. If you follow these tips, you are almost guaranteed to increase your win percentage and to just overall have a great time playing the game, or a better time, I'll say, because it's still 2K at the end of the day. Without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead, jump right into the list with number 1, and that's to get you a squad to run with. Let's face it, running with randos is like a big box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get, and most of the time, the randoms that you do get are not the most team-oriented of players, or even worse, you'll be the odd man out where you end up with a squad of 4 other people, and all they're looking to do is just pass it to each other. They could be triple teamed in the corner, and you wide open underneath the basket. We've all been there. You know how it goes. They're gonna pass it to their teammate who's in the corner, triple team. He's gonna jack it up. And that's why I say, if you can get you some folks to run with, it will undoubtedly increase your enjoyment of the game tenfold easily. Not to mention, you're just naturally gonna win more games just off the sheer fact that you have yourself a squad. It also allows you to be able to do more, especially on defense. Now you can run a zone, 2-3, 3-2. But I myself don't take heed of this tip. So far this entire 2K22 season, I've just been running with random. So this is one tip that I definitely need to take advantage of myself. And don't be like me. Get you a squad and enjoy you some stress-free gaming. Trust me, you'll thank me for it later. The second tip is going to be to play my career on a higher difficulty level. And I know you're probably saying to yourself, this is a rec center video. Why are you even recommending that I play my career, let alone on a higher difficulty level? Quite simply, that's because in order to get the badges in this gear, just like pretty much every year, if we're being honest, you have got to grind it out. The best place, in my opinion, is to do that in the my career, because you could just go out there, drop 100 points every game, whereas if you're playing multiplayer online with other people, that's more mouths to feed and it's harder to get the ball. But the thing with my career is you will pick up some bad habits. That's why I say to play it on a higher difficulty level. Don't just get used to speed boosting by the rookie or whatever the lowest difficulty level AI is and just scoring with ease, because you're gonna bring those bad tendencies over to the rec. And I will tell you now, it's not gonna work. You're not gonna be able to just speed boost past everybody. Probably like 90% of the bigs in this game have interior defense, so they're gonna send you a shot. You're not gonna just easily dunk it on them or lay it up on them like you do in my career. Run by your guy on the perimeter, because just about every guard, especially if you're playing next gen, they probably have mid 80s at least in their perimeter defense, so they should be able to stay up with you. And then another key thing with playing the my career is, at least on the next gen, I'm not too sure, I don't believe they have this on the current gen, but you get 4 extra badge points if you do the college, and then you get, I believe it's a 5% bonus towards badge progression if you do the G League route. So those are 2 key things that you're gonna want to take advantage of and at least do that part of the my career. Also, you can unlock the gym rat badge through the my career, and that's by playing 40 games and winning the championship. It'll take a bit more on your part, but it's a fun story. Going on to tip number 3, that's gonna be to pass the ball. The ball moves faster than any player ever can. It's a video game and the ball is still gonna move faster than you. And let's be honest here, people, passing becomes infectious. If you pass the ball to your teammate, that's gonna make them in turn want to pass the ball and keep the ball moving, and movement is key in this game. But in that same vein, you don't want to be the guy that overpasses. If you have the open shot or wide open layup / dunk, just go ahead and take that shot, finish off that dunk. The worst thing that can happen is you miss it. It is what it is. You get back on defense. But I'll tell you what, nothing is worse than getting the ball passed to you with 1 second left on the clock and having to being forced to throw something up. So, be mindful of that. Try not to overpass, but try not to underpass. There's like a sweet spot in there, and you want to be in that sweet spot. But if you had to pick between the two, I would say err on the side of overpassing, so that everybody at least has a chance to touch the ball and feel like they're enjoying the game. Tip number 4 is going to be to play your role. If you are big, stop trying to bring the ball up court. You will most definitely lose the ball, especially this year. With the way in which steals are working, they have toned them down a bit, but if you're big, it's almost guaranteed getting poked loose. And if you're a guard, stop fighting for rebounds that we already know you're not getting. Either get back on defense or get ready to start the fast break, get in a position for outlet pass. Also, if you know that you don't have any shooting in your build, no 3-pointers, no mid-range, there's no reason for you to be standing in that position. Likewise, if you can't dunk, lay up, anything, if you're not a paint guy, if you're one of those little guards who just move around the perimeter left or right, I guess, there's no reason for you to be in the paint. To be honest, you don't even need to be cutting through it. Just stay all the way away from the paint and play your role. And most of all, play your mans on defense. I know the steal is OP, especially those passing lane steals with the interceptor badge, but playing the lane or trying to double team on the big in the post leaves your guy wide open. And the way shooting is this year, he will undoubtedly make that shot once he gets it. It's cool to try to help out, but just make sure that you're able to get back to your mans. And if your mans hits 1, 2, 3 at most threes or shots on you, stop trying to help. At that point, it's just solely on your man because he's the one that's cooking and killing the team. Moving on to tip number 5. Spacing. If you've ever watched the NBA or any basketball game on TV, you will see that there's usually good spacing. Giving the ball handler enough space to work with and not clog up the lanes is key to seeing success in the rec. That's why we say play your roles, space out the floor. And there are like areas around the court that you kind of want to lean towards. If you've played basketball, you know this already. If you play 2K, you know this. But if you're a shooter, stay along the perimeter. You have the corners, the wing, top of the key, and then the bigs we would predominantly like to see stay down in the painted area, not in the actual key. Don't get 3 seconds, but you know, like down on the block, maybe free throw line extended around that area. And this is all done so that we have enough space for whoever has the ball in their hands to create and do something. And if double team does happen to come because of that spacing, now that pass that you make to your teammate is going to force that double man to have to travel further to get back to his mans, which should result in a wide open shot. Tip number 6 is going to be to slow down. Take your time when you bring the ball up, or even when you first get it off of a rebound or a pass. And that's another reason why I say to play my career on a harder difficulty, because when playing on pro, you will get used to just outrunning the computer and getting the blow by animation. But bringing that same type of energy online into definitely the rec, it's just gonna waste your guys' energy. And if you do go to take a shot, it's not going in because you have no stamina, because you're not gonna easily get that blow by against a real life person. So slow down, try and, methodically pick them apart, change your speed up as you're going, just take a moment to just assess the situation, I would say. And this will also allow your teammates time to get set up in their spots that we just spoke about in the last tip. And also, when you get the rebound, definitely slow down. I know you wanna get that outlet out there, but be mindful of those pesky guards trying to poke that ball free. Moving on to tip number 7, that's going to be to turn on your mic. We all know this, but in sports, communication is key. And in 2K or basketball in general, communication is damn near vital. You have to know when to switch or hedge, when to set a pick, when to hold that pick, when to cut to the basket. Basically what I'm saying is you have to be out here talking to your teammates. There's a wealth of things that you or your teammates need to be communicating to one another during the course of the game. So when you're playing a game, just turn the mic on. My advice, once you first get into the rec, turn on your mic, do a quick mic check, see if anybody's answering, responding. If they are, there you go, you're good. If not, maybe send them a party invite, see if they want to join your party. Don't get too out there with it. I mean, if they don't want to talk, they don't want to talk. A lot of the community is like that because we have such a bad rap as being toxic. But if you're watching this video, that's not you. You're not trying to be the toxic one. Be out here trying to help each other to better each other. So if someone does make a mistake, you ain't got to get nasty with them. Maybe give them some advice. I mean, remember, at the end of the day, it's just a game. Ain't nobody getting paid. At least most of us ain't getting paid. I'll say that because they do have the 2K league, but most of us ain't getting paid for this. So, chill out, enjoy the game, have fun. Now, moving on to tip number 8, stop cutting. This one might be my favorite tip on this list because I see it happen so much. As a guy who runs exclusively, probably 90% of the time, 95, 99% of the time with randoms, that's all I'm seeing. One person with the ball, the primary ball handler, and then 4 other people just cutting to the basket, going back to the perimeter, cutting to the basket, and you see that for 24 seconds straight. It's crazy. But please, if you made it this far into the video, stop cutting. Now, I know I'm guilty of this myself at times. Most of the time, all that cutting is going to do is just clog up the paint because there's so many of us doing it. It'd probably be best set up in a position as opposed to just cutting all over the place. It makes it easier for the other team to play defense because with me cutting through the paint, they'll probably just double off of me until I get to pop up back on the other side because they know I can't do nothing with it down there. But that's why I say y'all should turn on your mics and communicate with each other so y'all can get this squared away early. Who's cutting, when we're cutting, who's calling out the cuts and stuff like that, so that the whole team is not cutting at the same time because it's ugly and it will lose you the game. Moving on to tip number 9, that's going to be the set screens. And you would think that this is obvious. This should be obvious, but set screens, this should be obvious. We all play 2K, we all play basketball, but setting screens helps not only you, but also your entire team get open look. And this is definitely the better option than cutting to the lane for 24 seconds back and forth. Don't go crazy, however, with the screens. If you see somebody else setting a screen, don't add to it. 2 is not better than 1. Go and try and find yourself an open position, one of those position that we spoke about in the spacing tip, corner, wing, perimeter, or down the blocks, and look for the open pass. And probably my biggest pet peeve in 2K since I've made my big build, do not set screens in the paint. If you're backing down your man in the paint, there's no reason for me to be setting a screen on him. But I see that way more often than I should, and that's why I made sure to put that in this video. Do not set paint screens. Tip number 10 is going to be to stop leaking. I know you want those easy buckets. Me too, but you can't be leaking out every time, because if your opponent gets an offensive rebound, you're pretty much up shit's creek with no paddle. So try to be mindful of who you're playing against and your personnel as well. You have undersized bigs who's more than likely gonna have difficulty getting the rebounds. Maybe stay an extra second or two so that if your team isn't able to get the rebound, you can easily just get back to your mans and play defense. But if you have a 7-3, I mean, that's when you gotta just use your basketball IQ, I guess, and say, okay, my 7-3 versus their 6-9, he's gonna get the rebound all the time. Then that would be a situation where leaking more often than not would be understandable, I'll say. But like all sports, basketball is situational. So when it comes to leaking, like I said, just try to play to the situation. If you're up 3 with like a couple of seconds left in the game, there's no reason for you to be leaking. Just stick to your mans, right? Or if you have a 7-3 big and they have a 6-8 down there, that might be an opportunity to leak. So keep that in mind as you're playing. And the last tip that I got for y'all in this video is gonna be to box out. And that's for 1 through 5. Everybody can box out. Easy to do. Just hit the trigger, box your mans out. If you're a little guy and you do find yourself in the paint where you should not be, box out the big so you're big. Box out the opposing big so your big has an easier time getting the boards. But if you're an undersized big, you definitely need to be boxing out. And as a bonus little tip that I'm going to throw in here at the end before I sign out, it's going to be to do your research. Research. If you're not playing a game or you find you have some free or spare time, just, come here on YouTube, watch a video, maybe Google how to do something. Maybe you're trying to learn a new dribble move. There is a wealth of content creators here on YouTube with extensive content libraries on how to improve at just about any particular skill that you want to learn how to do in this game. I have a playlist just filled with NBA 2K content, and there are other people far better at the game than me out there that you can also get tips from. People like Jay Easy, Brutal Sims, Bear the Beast, Chalk, Laker Fan, All City, 2K Toots, 2K Labs, just to name a few. These are the guys that you're going to go out and content you're going to want to check out, because they are definitely here to help the community. Like I said earlier, the community has a bad rap, but these guys are definitely out here trying to change the community. So shout out to them, shout out to you. If you made it this far in the video, then you're the real MVP. Comment real MVP down in the comment section. And that's gonna do it for our 11 Rec Center tip video. Right about now, I probably have that 2K playlist up there and whatever YouTube thinks is the best video for y'all to watch. So go check out one of those too. Till the next time we speak, y'all, Lucky out. Peace.